Hey there guys, Miss Losada here with a lesson video on how to play the purple belt. Let's go ahead and get started. Okay, so in this video we're going to go through the 5 steps in order to play our recorder, and in this case to play the purple belt. So as a reminder, our 5 steps for playing our recorder or for playing any song are as follows. We have step 1, rhythm read. Step 2, figure out the letter names of the notes. Step 3, put the letter names of the notes in rhythm. Step 4, using our finger placement, so using our recorder and saying the letter names in rhythm. And then step 5 is actually going ahead and playing our song. So as a reminder, for this song, we are going to use the following notes. We're going to use B, A, G, E, and now we have a new note, D. So this would be the lower D, not the higher D. So this is a lower D, and where you're covering pretty much most of the recorder except for the last hole. All right, so we are covering pretty much everything except for the last hole where our pinky would go. All right, so again, as a review, we have B, A, G, E, and D. All right, so now let's go ahead and figure out our steps. So here's our music. And what we're going to notice in this song is that there are some repetitious areas, right? Repetitive areas, whether it be through the rhythm or through the letter names of our notes, right? But there are going to be some spots where we do have some differences, all right? So let's see if we can figure those out. Let's start first with our rhythm reading. Ready? So as a reminder, remember that for our quarter notes, we say ta. For our half notes, we say to-ah. Anytime that we have a rest, so if we have a quarter rest, remember that we're going to think either ta or we're going to say sh. So we're going to have that silence. And then we have our eighth notes, which for our eighth notes, we have T. And lastly, we'll have a dotted half note. This is a little bit brand new. So for this one, it would be to-ah. Okay? Remember that it's 3 beats. So a dotted half note is 3 beats in this case because of our time signature 4/4. So let's start from the very beginning. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. Ta, 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 to-ah, ta, 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 to-ah, sh, ta, 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 to-ah, ta, 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 to-ah, sh, ti, ta, 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 ti, ta, ta, to-ah, ti, ta, ti, ta, ti, ta, 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 to-ah, ta, 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 to-ah, sh. So probably by now you guys noticed that line number 1, line number 2, and line number 4 have identical rhythms. The difference is at our end, right? So over here, the last measure of each of those lines, we have a different ending. But pretty much everything else is the same rhythm, which is kind of a good thing, right? Makes less work for us to do. And we kind of like are killing 2 birds with 1 stone because we've already, if we know line number 1 pretty well, we already know line number 2 and 4, and all we have to do is figure out the ending, right? So now let's go ahead and figure out the letter names to each of these. Let's figure out the letter names to each of these. Here we go. So we start over here. Remember that this one over here is our G. So we're starting with G. Here we go. 1 and G. G, G. Here's a D. E, E, D. B, B, A, G. Here's another D. G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G. Here we have two D's. D, D, G, G, G. Two D's. D, D, G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, and our last one, G. So probably you also noticed that our third line has pretty much all of it is a G, right? All of the notes there are pretty much G. Might have a few D's, but for the most part, all of it is G. So it's also something there to kind of make it a little easier. So now let's go ahead and put the letter names in rhythm. So remember that now instead of saying tas or toa or toa, or instead of saying tt, we're going to be saying that rhythm, but instead we're going to say the letter name. All right, so here we go, starting from the beginning. 1, 2, ready, here we go. G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh, D, G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh, D, D, G, 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 D, D, G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh. So something to keep in mind for line number 3 is do not go on autopilot when you get to these measures over here, especially when you have those back-to-back eighth notes. We don't want to go on autopilot and just be like G, 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 right? We want to make sure that we're counting them correctly. So let's actually start from right here, the second measure of the third line. Third measure of the third line. Let's start from here. And let's just review that together. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. G, 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 G. A lot of the times I've seen students do this last measure and go G, 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 G. Why? Because that's what their autopilot wants to do, right? That's what we automatically just think, oh, we're just going to continue that pattern, but there's a different pattern. You have 4 eighth notes here, and then you have 2 quarter notes. So you definitely want the eighth notes to be a little faster, but those quarter notes have to have that steady beat. All right, so now let's go ahead and play it together on our chin first. So we're going to do it on our chin and saying the letter names out loud in rhythm, starting with G. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh, D, G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh, D, D, G, 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 D, D, G, 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 D, E, E, D, B, B, A, G, sh, D, D, G, 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 E, D, B, B, A, G, sh. All right. Quick reminder, another reminder, when you get to those G's, right, that you are definitely not moving in your recorder, you're not moving in your fingers, right? Be sure to be counting all of those notes. You don't want to get into that lazy autopilot area. So your fingers should not be moving, but your breath should be separating those notes. Remember that we use our tonguing technique in order to separate one note from the next and to give it separation without literally taking a breath. So let's go ahead and play out loud. So this is step number 5. Let's go ahead and play out loud. Reminder of your sound. Remember, warm air. You want it to be with the pressure as if you were blowing into hot soup. The higher we go, the faster the air could be, or the cooler the air can be. The lower we go, so the lower the notes get, we want that warmer air. All right, so let's go ahead and try it. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go. So I took a breath wherever I needed, but the biggest thing was that I didn't take a breath in the middle of a phrase or a middle of, like, for example, a word, right? So I tried to do it at least every 2 measures. If I needed to take a breath, I'd go ahead and take a breath. But think about the song and think about how the flow of the song is. You don't want to take a breath where it says, Old MacDonald, right? We don't want to do that in the middle of a word or in the middle of a phrase. So let's do it again, keeping in mind our breath, keeping in mind where we're going to take a little break, having our tonguing technique, that warm air to be able to have that nice, good sound, and remembering not to go on autopilot. Here we go. 1, 2, ready, here we go.